Hey, beautiful star beings. This is Meagan Mermaid, and I'm so excited to be here for a special activation and mermaid magic empowerment. So, there's so much that has been coming through in the past few days, weeks actually, years to be honest, about mermaid energy and mermaid consciousness. And I'm right about at the point where in the next few months, I'm going to be uh, publishing my deck, the Mermaid Empowerment Oracle deck, and I'm starting this new series of mermaid master classes. And the first one is going to be on June 6th, and it's all about reclaiming the Cohellen Druith. So, what's been coming to me is a lot of the information from the Celtic Marrows of Ireland. Hi, Leah. Good to see you. Welcome to everyone who's joining live. And a lot of their wisdom, a lot of the mythology of the Marrows is really deeply connected to unlocking the divine feminine and has the keys to heal the wounded feminine. So when we talk about the Cohellen Druith, this is a cap that was associated with the Marrows of Ireland. And when they would put this cap on, some stories say that it was a red cap that had feathers on it. And they could put this cap on and they could come out of the waters and they could walk among the humans on land. Now, if someone stole their Cohellen Druith, their hat, their cap, they were not able to return to the seas. So essentially, it would be like their magic was taken from them. So there's a lot of information about, hi, Nana, good to see you. Welcome from Denmark. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm really glad that I was able to start a little bit earlier today because normally my lives are later in the day. And so we get to have our European community here today. I know it's a little bit earlier than it would be normally for you. So welcome, Nana. I'm so excited to have you here. So going back to the Marrows of Ireland and this Cohellen Druith, this cap that they would wear, it's very deeply connected to the crown chakra. And so what these stories are really talking about is how the dark agendas have tried to how the dark agendas have tried to manipulate and disempower the feminine, and how the mermaid carries the archetypal energy, the wisdom, the codes that we can unlock within our DNA through mermaid consciousness to heal the wounded feminine and to reclaim our magic. Now, in other master classes, I'm going to dive deeper into the Marrows and a lot of the stories, including soul cages and how the codependency between the masculine and the feminine started, and how all of the healing of the feminine. So we all have masculine and feminine energies within us, but we're either really choosing in this lifetime to be a keeper of the feminine flame primarily or a keeper of the masculine flame primarily. So it doesn't matter what gender you are or no gender, whatever you identify with is perfect for you in your particular journey of awakening. But these energies are the same. These polarities are within everything. They're within ourselves. They're within the land. And so as we start to work with the energies of mermaid consciousness and we awaken and activate that within our DNA, it's kind of like a software program upgrade where the things that we're carrying, the limiting beliefs and the disempowering programming within our DNA, within our collective consciousness is healed, it's alchemized, it's balanced through the waters of our DNA. So there's all sorts of ways that the mermaid as an archetype holds so much power. Today, we're going to be talking about mermaid magic and what it is. And we're going to be doing an activation to begin to call in mermaid magic in our own lives. And when we think of mermaids, they're really, really powerful manifestors, and they're able to call in whatever they want. And the reason for this is because they have a deep sense of worthiness and unconditional self-love and unconditional self-acceptance. So if you're a keeper of the feminine flame, the mermaid is pivotal in your healing and unlocking that worthiness and that radiance within you. And so this is everything that my deck, the Mermaid Empowerment Oracle deck, talks about is how to unlock that inner radiance and how to really begin to hold yourself as a conduit of the divine feminine, as the goddess. If we consider the energy of the feminine as the goddess, as this energy that's flowing through everything, through us as a being in form, through the earth, through the land, through the water. Elementals are very deeply connected to the healing of the earth. And so as we heal the earth, we heal ourselves. As we heal ourselves, we heal the earth. The land is representative of our own bodies, and the galaxy, the universe, is a macrocosm of our bodies as a microcosm. So it's like we're like a wave in this ocean of consciousness. So there's so much to mermaids, and I'm so excited to be sharing about it. And in these master classes that I'm doing, we're going to be going through each of the chakras. So this first one is going to be on June 6th, and it's only $22 for the investment for the master class. And we're going to be having teachings and activations and empowerments to begin to call back that Cohellen Druith within us, that cap, our magic, and realize how to create the boundaries that we need to feel empowered in our feminine magic and to really begin to activate this enjoyment of daily life. So what is mermaid magic? Oh, and at the end of today's live, for everyone that's joining live that wants to participate, there'll be a special giveaway for one person to get a seat to this masterclass. And it's June 6th at 11 a.m. Pacific, but I know that we have a global community. So if that's something that you're not able to make live, know that there will be a replay, and that, whatever time you join in, we're always connected in quantum reality. Even if you're watching this as a replay for this live, you're here with us in spirit. Every moment is the present moment. So yeah, I'm excited about that giveaway. I'm really excited about all the information that's coming to me. It's been a long time coming. I became the oracle for the Mermaids of Sirius and the High Council of Syrian Elders about 7 years ago. And I was just beginning to see how every 7-year cycle, this is really how we grow in our lives, is through 7-year cycles. Arcs of evolution happen in 7 years. So, in the Gene Keys, which I'm a student of, and talks about how age 0 to 7 is our first activation, and then 7 to 14 and so on. But also, when we start new careers or new relationships, or we move, whenever we start something new in our life, we evolve in these cycles of 7 years. And it's important to remember that, because when we are conduits or we're channels of bringing new information into the world, into the third dimension of form, it does take time. So if you feel that you're being called to bring something into reality and you feel like it's taken longer than expected, know that your consciousness has to catch up to what wants to come through you as a conduit of the feminine. And so 7 years ago, I first found out that I was a channel for mermaids, and I really had to evolve and do all sorts of self-mastery, physical self-mastery, mental self-mastery, spiritual self-mastery, to embody the energy, the space to be a conduit of this information. So it's finally at a place now where it's able to be received into the world through me as the channel. It's happening through me, it's definitely bigger than me. We're all, conduits of something bigger than ourselves, but mermaid consciousness is so powerful and so needed in the world at this time. So I just feel so honored to be the messenger of this message. So what I feel called to do today is pull a couple cards from my deck, and then we're going to do an activation. But I was going to tell you about what is mermaid magic. So how do mermaids manifest? It's all about the energy of alchemy. Okay. So if you resonate with mermaids or unicorns or fairies or any elementals, what you're resonating with is your purpose, your role on earth as a healer of the earth. Okay. And we heal the earth through transmutation. So I want you to think about trees, for example, how a tree is able to take the carbon dioxide and it's able to regenerate it, turn it into something new, alchemize it into oxygen, something that we can breathe. So we're doing that as elementals, keepers of mermaid energy. Is what we're doing is we're taking the suffering of the earth and we're turning it into beauty. So that's our role when we're keepers of mermaid DNA, is to create beauty. And so that's how we manifest. And, to bring it back to what's been happening astrologically, Jupiter just moved into Taurus. And so we have a whole year of expanding, which is what Jupiter does. It expands whatever energy it's in through Taurus, which is a Venus ruled sign that's all about love and beauty and prosperity and abundance and sensuality and pleasure and comfort and balance and working with the earth. And when we think of Taurus, it's like the masculine energy is the bull, the feminine energy is the cow, right? I mean, you look at a cow and it's so grounded into the earth. It's present. My friend and I just went to Sedona yesterday. And as we were driving, we saw all of these cows on the plains. And I was telling her, I was like, wouldn't it be awesome to be a cow? And like your whole life is just to graze on a field and to have this beautiful skyline to look at all of the time and just be fully present in the now. And so that's the energy that we're here to embody and we're here to expand in the next year, is this energy of Taurus, this energy of being grounded into the earth, into the eternal now, into the present moment through beauty, through embodiment, through presence, through worthiness. Taurus is all about what we value. So in order for us to manifest, we've got to value ourselves and we've got to see ourselves as these unique individuals, as a wave in the ocean of consciousness, as a fractal of God, as a flame of the goddess, a divine feminine vessel of the goddess. So when we start to see ourselves as not just Meagan Mermaid or Leah Lyons or Nana or whoever we are, which is our role in this particular storyline, but we are actually a vessel of the goddess. So when we start to step outside of our separation and we start to open to the goddess, the divine feminine flowing through us, that's when we become conduits of miracles and of magic. And that's when we call back our Cohellen Druith, this cap that's connecting us back to our magic, which is our sovereignty. Our magic is our connection with both the earth, which we're healing, and source, which we're channeling. We ground into the earth and then we can channel from source, and it happens through us, and through us comes the beauty. My friend and I, Leah, who's here on today, we've been staying together in Scottsdale, and we visited Sedona yesterday. And we were just in awe of when we put our energies together, what we were able to manifest. Even when I started to put things, this altar, for example, of Bridget, or different things that we had put as far as like crystals on this little table in the living room, I looked at it afterwards and I was like, oh my gosh, this is masculine energy, this is feminine energy, or everything was placed so perfectly. It was beyond anything that I, in my little human, could have received or created myself. But because we were two conduits of feminine energy that came together, there was even more access for the goddess to come through us and to create this beautiful setup that was bigger than us. We just got to view it and be like, wow, look at the beauty that we get to create when we open ourselves up to the feminine energy within us. And so this is what mermaids do. And this is what mermaid magic is that we, I wrote it down. Oh, yeah. So mermaid magic is making beauty for ashes for the healing of mankind. So what that means is that we take all of the suffering and we turn it into beauty through creativity. So we honor ourselves as the vessel of the divine feminine. We treat ourselves as the goddess in form. So if you were starting to treat yourself as the goddess, how would you carry yourself? How would you dress yourself? How would your personal hygiene be a daily ritual of worship to the goddess within you? How would you honor yourself in your choices and the boundaries that you choose to make for yourself, so that you can be this vessel of the feminine and feel safe. Because in order to manifest, we've got to feel safe, right? And in mermaid consciousness, we start with the crown because we have to receive the energy and then we ground it into the earth little by little. And so I'm so excited for this masterclass that's going to show you how to do it and walk you through step by step. And so if you want to sign up, that link is in the bio below. Or, I'll be giving that giveaway. I'll be doing that giveaway. Oh, but I wanted to talk more about Jupiter and Taurus. And basically the words that I got for this year is that we're cashing in on beauty. And what that means is we just had the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. Well, actually they will be in that until July, I believe. But we had a huge lunar eclipse in Scorpio. We had 2 other eclipses in Scorpio over the past year and a half. And so what we've really been doing is diving deep into our suffering, into our collective and individual karma. Scorpio is all about really going into the depths. And that is one aspect of mermaid consciousness. The siren helps us to heal with the shadow, and the mermaid helps us to embody the light and the manifestation. And the siren and the mermaid are 2 sides of the same coin. It's the yin and the yang. There's so much to share about mermaid consciousness. I'm so excited. I can't share it all in one live, but little by little, you're going to get more taste, and it's super exciting and it's super activating. But because we've done so much shadow work with all of these eclipses and welcoming in the Scorpio energy, it's kind of like every time that we've done shadow work, every time that we've gone through a situation of suffering or challenge, it's like we've deposited something into our karmic bank account. And now that Jupiter is in Taurus, we get to expand through beauty. It's like we're making a it's not the word deposit. Deposit is putting in there. I'm like, why am I blinking at this? Oh yeah, we're making a withdrawal. We're making a withdrawal of our karmic bank account to call in the energy of beauty, the energy of Taurus, the energy of magic. So now it's about, what do you want to create in this next year? Do you want to move? Do you want to call in a new relationship? Do you want to feel more beautiful, more radiant, more happy in your human form? Do you want to complete a creative project? Do you want to whatever it is that you want to manifest? Mermaids teach about manifestation in a very grounded way that's connected to the bliss of our soul's true purpose. So when we embody the bliss of our soul's true purpose, we are doing what we naturally love, what we're gifted at, our talents, our skills, and abilities, and we're doing so in service to humanity. So that's why Mermaid Magic is making beauty for ashes for the healing of mankind, for the healing of humanity, for the healing of the earth. Our job is to create beauty because every act of love heals an act of fear. So if that's your job as a keeper of the feminine flame, as a holder of mermaid consciousness within your DNA, then wouldn't you be able to call in beauty, to call in better situations in your life? You wouldn't have to learn through suffering because your job is to create beauty. But in order to create that, you've got to learn how to transmute, and it's got to come through suffering and feeling your emotions, allowing yourself to recognize how worthy you are by aligning yourself with the ocean of consciousness rather than seeing yourself as a limited wave. And so I'm going to pull some cards, and we're going to do an activation today where we start to embody the lotus of compassion. So when we think of the lotus, this is a perfect example of the transmutation that mermaids offer us, because the lotus is such a beautiful flower and it grows out of the mud, of the muck, of the mire. And so when we see this lotus blooming, what it's representing is the beauty that's created from suffering, how that is like our revolution. That's how we handle the dark energies or the dark entities, whatever we want to call it, the balancing that we're here to do as we raise consciousness and we step into ascension or new earth or whatever you want to call it. It's really recognizing that our fight is not a fight at all. It's the acceptance of our ability to receive and to create beauty, our worthiness to do that. So every time we go through a difficult situation and we use that difficulty to create more love, more beauty in the world, to release something into the world that will awaken others, that will inspire others, that will support others, that will give them hope. You know, when we share our stories of our suffering and how we've come out of them, we awaken this same ability in others to transcend whatever experience they're going through. And it also unifies us and reminds us that, you know, even though our stories are different, the topics, the things that we're transmuting and we're healing and clearing, the wounds of humanity are the same for all of us. They show up in our lives in different ways, but we all have the same wounds. That's what unifies us. And so our activation today, we're going to start to become that lotus of consciousness. And as these petals begin to unfold from all of the difficulties that we've been through, it's opening our capacity to create beauty and to receive beauty as a conduit of the feminine. Sounds really awesome, right? All right. So the first card that we have today is curiosity. And so this is like lightning medicine. And the empowerment for curiosity is I explore my world with curiosity. So curiosity is what gets us out of victim consciousness, because rather than looking at our current situation and saying things like, why is this happening to me, which keeps us in that victim consciousness, instead we start to see, how is this happening for me? And we start to look at our world as data. Everything in our life is data. So for example, if we're acting out a continuous pattern and it seems like even with different people or situations that the same thing is happening, the same lessons, the same themes, we want to get curious about it, because the curiosity is going to get us to this place of saying, what would someone have to be thinking to be manifesting this situation or to be in this particular relationship dynamic. And so the curiosity helps us to get to the bottom of it and discover our pearl. The pearl is what we're here to receive from that lesson. Once we get our pearl, we don't have to keep going through that lesson anymore. And we can up level to another lesson, another experience. And so this card fell out when I was shuffling the deck today, and it's synchronicity. So I love this card because the mermaid empowerment is every sign that I see brings more signs to me. And that's what happens when we start to get curious. We start to see that the universe is speaking to us through signs and synchronicities. And it's up to us to create a language of what these messages mean. And the more that we connect to our higher self and our spirit guides and the mermaids, the more we're going to start to see how magical our environment is, how everything is telling us something. And synchronicities are always telling us in our manifestation journey that we're on the right track, even if we don't see the results just yet, even if we don't see the solution. It allows us to keep the magic, keep that flame of magic, keep those embers lit so that we stay in the course of the flow to get to that space. And the last card that we have, interesting, specific person. So the mermaid empowerment for specific person is my specific person is a mirror of me. And so one of the most powerful ways that we learn here on the earth plane is through the lens of relationship. And oftentimes the wound of the mermaid is, putting our partner on a pedestal or putting them first rather than putting us first. So in order to heal and create healthy partnership, we've got to be whole in our own masculine and feminine energy. And we also have to be giving to ourselves first. We have to find that radiance within. We go within, and then once we become whole and integrated vessels of the feminine, we magnetize that embodied masculine. So rather than chasing or forcing or trying to make things happen in our external relationships or looking for validation in our external relationships, which will always leave us more sad, more unsatisfied, and will continue these cycles, which we need to get curious about, where there's the pain and the suffering rather than the beauty and the liberation and the freedom. We have to get clear about the mirrors in our life and what they're showing us. And So I'm going to pull one card from each of the other mermaid decks that I have. The Mermaid Manifestation deck from Doreen Virtue, which unfortunately is out of print. So if you can find this deck anywhere, I would say get it because it's one of the most powerful decks. And it's just such a shame that Doreen Virtue brought in so much powerful wisdom and renounced it. So it's not as available as it once was. But this was the very first mermaid deck that I ever got. And it was so helpful on my journey. And this card says helpful person. So as we're creating mermaid magic, this card says someone wants to help you. Think of who that might be and initiate contact. So mermaids work in the energy of pod consciousness, which means that we're a part of a network of people, of co-creation. It's very similar to what Richard Rudd calls synarchy in the Gene Keys. So feel free to research that in the Gene Keys if you want to learn more about what synarchy means. But it's like these smaller networks of people that are kind of like all fused together in some way, and their gifts and their abilities and their talents overlap each other. And so then I'm seeing that it almost creates this like multidimensional sphere of like this interwoven web where everybody is supporting each other, lifting each other up, lifting the consciousness up. So the pod is everything to the mermaid. So there's something about someone that wants to help you, that wants to support you in whatever you're manifesting. Maybe it is a specific person, you know, someone that you have a romantic connection with. Maybe it's someone that feels like kin to you, like soul family. Maybe it's a mentor or a guide. It could be that you're being called to watch a YouTube live or listen to a podcast, or, you know, you might be scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media platform that you enjoy, and there might be a post or a message that is helpful to you. So this card is saying be open to help, recognizing that in this creation of beauty and this transmutation of suffering, we don't have to do it alone. We're here to do it as a group, as a pod, all helping and supporting each other. You've got something that I don't have. I have something that you don't have. And when we all put it together, we make it so much more fun. Another thing that came through from the mermaids this week was the saying that, what's the next thing that I need to do, and how can I make, or no, let me say this better, because mermaids always say it in rhyme. So I'm going to look at my notes here. It says, what's the next thing we need to get done, and how can we make it fun? So when we bring in this energy of playfulness and fun that the mermaids are really asking that we embody, that's when we can move through any situation and start to see the magic and the synchronicities in it. And that's when things happen so effortlessly and so easy. And there's one more affirmation that I wanted to share with you today that came through. And this is one that I feel like is really important, especially when what I notice about synchronicities and magic and miracles is that we'll see something and we'll be like, oh my gosh, like, you know, for example, I had asked for a hawk if a certain action step that I was supposed to be taking was the right step. And it's a step that I'm taking with my beautiful sister, Leah. And so when we were driving to Sedona yesterday, we saw 2 hawks, and I was calling them pterodactyl hawks because they were so huge. It was like the universe was like, here's your synchronicity, and we're going to make it so like blatantly obvious that you can't ignore it. And that's what happens when we start working with mermaid magic. Everything starts to be so magical and so divinely orchestrated and divinely aligned. But here's what happens is that the magic comes through, and then the fear comes after, right? The intuitive hit comes, and then the fear comes after. So then afterwards, we're like, whoa, okay, so we manifested this thing or this situation, but you know, what about after? Like, can I really keep this going? Or, you know what I mean? Aw, thank you, Leah. I see all your beautiful emojis. So the affirmation that came through when that fury is fear and worry. And I guess we had to create a new word to make it sound just so silly and so insignificant. It's just fury. But what the mermaid said is, this is just a taste of the miracles I have already created. So anytime we see a synchronicity, we have to say that. We have to affirm that. This is just a taste of the miracles I've already created. It's just as easy to manifest $1 as it is to manifest $1 million, but it's a limiting belief that we've picked up or carried within our collective consciousness that has told us otherwise. And it's so funny because I actually did just find $1 the other day at the playground when I took my daughter to play. And the same thing came through where this is just a taste of the miracles I've already created. If I can manifest $1 on the ground, I can manifest anything. We have to keep that limitless ability open. And we do that through calling back our magic, our connection to source, our Cohellen Druith, which is, I guess, why I wore a cap today. It was very synchronistic, but I was like, I need to wear this hat. So anyway, I wanted to open this space for anyone that's live. If anyone has a question about mermaids or about anything I've shared, and then we're going to go into this brief but really powerful activation to sort of become that lotus of consciousness and begin to work with the energy of mermaid magic. So I'm going to open this space. Oh, and it was so funny because the other mermaid deck that I have by Lucy Cavendish, I think it's called, oh goodness, it's called like the Mermaid Oracle. Oh, Oracle of the Mermaids, Oracle of the Mermaids. And this was the first card that I pulled. Out of all the cards, it says the magic of the Cohellen Druith, which is exactly what Mermaid Masterclass 1 is all about. So this just shows that once you start working with the mermaids, everything is magical. Everything is divinely guided. And this is just about recognizing that, like, part of calling back our magic is, you know, just recognizing that we have to kind of honor our sensitivity and honor the fact that as we're starting to work with our intuition and trust our intuition, that we have to be very mindful about who we share it with, especially if you're manifesting something. You know, everybody's got their own fear thoughts. So be mindful of speaking about what you want to call in, except if it's around people that you know and trust that will support you and uplift that in that sensitive moment. It's almost like, you know, when you're birthing a child, that, you know, you want to keep it safe and you want to have this beautiful environment. That's what we want to do with our dreams that we're bringing in, we're gestating into this earth plane, is we want to just really honor them and hold them safe. Adriana sharing, hi everyone, feeling the mermaids lending me a helping hand by leading me here today. Oh, Adriana, it's so great to see you. I know it's just so magical what will happen when you start to work with the mermaids. And, you know, I just feel like in so many ways, society has tried to kind of like minimize the mermaid or make her like overtly sexual or make her like this energy that wants to just drown men or manipulate them. And, you know, those are aspects of the dark feminine and of the feminine, yes, but they're also just a part of the manipulation tactics that have happened. So when we reclaim that mermaid within us, we heal our wounded feminine and we really align with magic. And I can't say it enough that magic is real and we're keepers of magic, and that's a part of our everyday life. Like the Course in Miracles talks about miracles are our birthright, and when they're not occurring, something has gone wrong. And it's the same with magic. Like if magic is not occurring as a regular everyday thing in your life, that's when you know something has got to shift. And just me sharing that is already activating the DNA within you that's programmed, that's encoded for you to start receiving magic. So as you work with the mermaids, they're going to unlock those codes within your own DNA. It's already there. I just have to walk you through it. The mermaids just have to walk you through how to turn those lights back on so that magic and manifesting and beauty are what we're here to do. Like that's really what it was, is, you know, I kind of see like the mermaids of Sirius, we were all sort of like, you know, hanging out, like, you know, in our beautiful mermaid coves, and maybe we were like brushing our hair, or we were just listening to music and being present in our beautiful environment. And, you know, we get this call that like, hey, we need mermaids to come down to Earth because there's all these intergalactic battles that are happening. And so we need beings that can create beauty and that can work with the earth and the land to transmute. And we're like, oh, okay, we can do it. And then we get here and we're like, oh my God, there's so much suffering. And like, what we're doing now is we're untangling all of this stuff that's kept us from our original mission to just create beauty. Like that's our job. Our job is to create and be conduits of beauty through the goddess, through the feminine energy, and let her do the work through us. And we just get to be that shining vessel of source consciousness and keepers of the feminine flame. So I'm going to take us into a wonderful Antonio. Thanks for being here. And I also just want to share, you know, for our masculine energies that are here, that mermaids are for all of us, that we all have a masculine and feminine energy energy, and that you can work with mermaid magic regardless of what gender or no gender you identify with, that the mermaid really represents the healing of our heart and our mind. And we can consider that as an elemental, that they have this fish tail, right, which is their connection to the water, our intuition, our spirit, and the air, which is our mind. So I just wanted to share that. So thank you, Antonio, for speaking up so that we could share that with our community, that the mermaid is here to help us with our hearts, our mind, our spirit, mind, body, spirit. And that's sort of, okay, I'm just going to stop there because I just feel like so much is coming through. I want to get into the activation. We're going to start out simple today. There's a lot that needs to come through, and this is plenty to integrate in one live. So if you're joining with me live, I want you to just close your eyes. And if you're not in a space where you can relax and easily step into today's activation and empowerment, I encourage you to come back because there's a replay that's available. This is going to be up on my YouTube channel. You can watch it at any time. So make sure that you're in a space where you can really receive, okay? And I want you to place your feet firmly on the floor, ground into the earth, right? Because as a conduit of mermaid energy, we've got to ground into earth, and then we've got to open our crown to receive directly from source consciousness, beyond all the stories, beyond all the stuff, beyond all the separation. The light directly from source begins to flow down into our crown chakra, into our third eye, our throat, our heart, our solar plexus, our sacral chakra, our root chakra, all the way down to our feet. And then you can imagine that this light from source begins to fill out of your crown chakra, creating this bubble of white light around you. And there's even a mermaid little saying that says, "I'm safe and protected in my bubble of light, free from harm and cloaked in white. I'm safe and protected in my bubble of light, free from harm and cloaked in white." So this is something that you can say when you want to clear your energy and you want to surround yourself in this bubble. This is how we work with mermaid consciousness. We start by having this boundary, this separation. So then you can begin to imagine that inside this bubble of white light, it begins to shift and change in colors from pinks and blues and purples and greens. And these are all the energies of the flames that represent the energies of Sirius. The pink flame of cosmic divine love, the emerald green flame of healing, the violet flame of transmutation, the blue flame of divine will. So all of these consciousnesses, all of these energies, all of these themes work together to create this safety of mermaid consciousness, where we can open our crown to receive the magic of our higher self and the mermaids without receiving all of the other stuff. We create this space to be a safe antenna. So then I'm calling in the energy of my High Council, the High Council of Syrian Elders, calling in the energy of the mermaids, the Big Cat Council of Sirius, and we also call in the Celtic sovereignty goddesses, which I've been very deeply working with, including Queen Maeve and Ermid and the Morrigan and Bridget and Eru. And we welcome in Saint Germain and Lady Portia to our left, and Sanat Kumara and Lady Venus to our right. And behind us, we also welcome in the energy of Yamaya, which is the beautiful energy, the word that is most closely connected to the divine qualities of God within water. And Lakshmi, which is another beautiful energy that allows us to bring in the energy of beauty. So feel free to call in any other energies that feel supportive to you, any guides or ascended masters into this space. And we just consecrate this space now for the highest vibrations of love, truth, healing, and peace. And so as your eyes are closed and this space is now connected and consecrated, just begin to imagine that you're breathing just like this beautiful ocean breath. So breathing in and out, inhaling and exhaling, just like the beautiful ocean tide. And so now my etheric body is beginning to step out of my body into the room with you and gently pulling your etheric body out of your body. And the etheric body looks very much like the regular human form, except it's completely transparent and translucent, almost like the consistency of light water. And so we also ask that a grounding cord be connected now into the core of the center of the earth, so that as we travel through this stargate, which you may begin to see, it's this really powerful stargate that is beginning to appear in lapis gold. in lapis blue and golden light in a counterclockwise motion. And as I have your hand held with your etheric body, we're beginning to travel up, up, up across dimensional frequencies and realities, up, up, up across stars, planets, and galaxies, up, up, up. And the elevator doors open, and we step out into the Syrian star nation in Sirius B, which is a planet that's full of water and islands. And you might begin to see these really gorgeous palm trees that are purple and green and yellow, blue, like neon colors. And above us is this powerful sky that's completely black, filled with starlight. You might even begin to see comets that are flying by. And there's just this really beautiful, tranquil energy of peace and beauty and positivity and joy. And so we're walking across these sands, and we're going towards the waters of Sirius, the oceans of Sirius. And the sand itself is sort of like, it has like a pink hue to it, sort of like a neon color. And this pink hue is the cosmic divine love that is grounded, that is encoded in this very space that we're walking through. So as you're walking, you might begin to feel that energy is being drained out of you as we walk towards these waters of Sirius. And so as we get to the final edge of these oceans, begin to imagine again that light, that bubble of light that was created is beginning to appear and materialize around you. And so as we sort of begin to walk into the water, this bubble that we're in is sort of floating on top of the water. And so all of us are in these beautiful bubbles, and we're all in our sovereign space. And you might begin to feel the energy of others that are here with us today, members of your pod, members that are here co-creating with us. And I want you to begin to imagine that your body becomes this clear vessel, and that maybe the bottom portion of your body is filled like with this same ocean, just as you're beginning to see, and that you can begin to feel that the top of your body is filled with this beautiful air of Sirius. So again, we're calling in the elements of the mermaid, the water and the air within us, and we're creating this balance of both in service to the other, in harmony to the other. And you might even begin to imagine that inside this bubble of light, that you begin to imagine and feel there's water inside this bubble. So we're on top of the water of Sirius, which is really a representation of the ocean of consciousness. And then within this bubble is this individual water that represents our heart, that represents our spirit. And you might begin to imagine that you are starting to shapeshift into your own mermaid or merman form. And you might begin to feel the energy of your own tail and the power of your crystalline light fins as you begin to activate this mermaid etheric body within you. And so as we step into the energy of this mermaid etheric form, I want you to concentrate on your heart and breathe into your heart. And you might begin to see that this beautiful lotus begins to take place within the very center of your heart. And that this lotus is surrounded by one ring of emerald green and one ring of pink. So this represents our inner and outer heart and the energies of our heart. And I want you to just breathe into the energy of this lotus and begin to imagine that as you breathe into it, petals upon petals upon petals, thousands of petals begin to unfold. This is the lotus of compassion that is beginning to be activated within your own heart. This is the compassion that you have cultivated from every moment of suffering, every difficulty. This is now connecting you to this power that you have to create, to manifest. So as you're here in this space, as you're embodying the lotus of compassion within your heart, as you are beginning to feel the playfulness and the flexibility and the fun and the joy and the creativity within your mermaid etheric body, I want you to think about 3 things that you want to call into being. Now, with Jupiter and Taurus, we can say what we want to manifest in the next year. But I also want you to think about this next lunar cycle. Mermaids work very closely with the lunar cycles. So, we just had our new moon in Taurus last week. So over the next lunar cycle, what do you want to call into being? What are the first steps in these 3 things? Maybe it's 3 areas. Maybe you want to bring in more radiance and self-love. Maybe you want to bring in a new career. Maybe you want to bring in new clients for your business. Maybe you want to manifest a new living situation. Think about 3 things. You can even think about one that is physical, one that is mental, one that's spiritual, but just take a moment here. And I'm just going to continue to just hold this space for you as whatever wants to materialize comes through. Know that whatever is coming to you is perfect. And if in this moment nothing is coming to you, know that that's okay too. And you might just be preparing and integrating, and that whatever wants to come through you will always come through at the right time. And so as you begin to visualize and really call into being those 3 things that you want to manifest through Mermaid Magic, I want you to speak these words out loud after me. We're going to do a call and response 3 times to seal this Mermaid Magic in. So we're going to say, taking a deep breath in, I exchange these ashes for beauty, for the healing of humanity. I exchange these ashes for beauty, for the healing of humanity. I exchange these ashes for beauty, for the healing of humanity. And you may, so much is coming through, forgive me. Okay, so as you begin to visualize in this space, it almost might feel like there's like sort of like darkness, almost like smoke that's beginning to sort of surround you in this bubble of light that you're in. But I want you to see that this smoke is starting to dissipate, and it's beginning to fall down into the waters that you are holding within this bubble. And that as it falls into the water, all of this beautiful starlight begins to materialize out of the water. And this starlight begins to surround you. And this starlight is pure infinite potentiality that we're calling into being. And so now I want you to breathe and allow this starlight to go out of your bubble. And it's now beginning to bless the bubbles of all of your mermaid and merman sisters that are here with us today and on the replay. And it begins to go out and bless all of Sirius. And it begins to go out and bless the earth and all of the elements, fire, air, earth, and water within the land that we're here a part of. And that this starlight is now going into wherever it needs to go to step you into miracles and receiving miracles and manifestations. And so let's just stay here for just a moment more, breathe into it. Perhaps you may get certain action steps that you need to take. Maybe you just have a feeling of peace that you are being kind of directed to embody, so that whatever needs to happen will happen. And know that you're going to be receiving synchronicities that are telling you about these things that you're calling in within the next few days, weeks, maybe even hours. So pay attention to the magic and know that the more that you notice it, the more that it will multiply. And so now we are being called back from our bubbles and you might begin to see yourself shape-shifting back into your human form. The water begins to dissipate and we're surrounded again just by this bubble of white light. And now the stargate begins to appear above our head. And you might begin to feel that magnetic pull as we are taken up, up, up across dimensional frequencies and realities, up, up, up across stars, planets, and galaxies, up, 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 and the elevator doors open. And we step back into the room that we're seated in. So your etheric body steps back into your body, and my etheric body steps back into mine, and the sacred space is now closed. So I'm going to give everyone a moment or two to come back. Sometimes in this multidimensional space, it might feel like our minds are blown, and it takes a moment for our bodies to catch up with our consciousness, especially, if this type of work is new to you. So take a moment to breathe. And then I want to just say again, as we're coming back into our bodies, how excited I am about this Mermaid Masterclass. Now, I decided that I'm going to be doing these classes individually, one at a time, and they're going to be happening monthly. So the first one, the Reclaiming the Cohellen Druith, is June 6th at 11 a.m. And there will be a replay if you can't join live, and it's $22. And this will be on the crown chakra. So I'm really excited about it, and I'd love for you guys to join. Oh, thank you, Sonia. Thank you, everyone that's here. So if you would like to be entered in the giveaway at this time, all you have to do is write your name and Mermaid Magic, or say Mermaid Magic and your name, whatever order. And then and I am going to choose one for the giveaway that gets to receive this masterclass as my gift to you today. And then if you are not the winner today, know that there'll be many more opportunities in the future, and that you can sign up for just $22 for this really powerful masterclass. This information is brand new to the planet. It's brand new to me. I get to be the person to bring it in. Yay. It's been a lot of self-mastery to get here. But yay. Okay. So I see that some of you are entering your names into the pool of magic here. So we're going to give you guys just a moment more so that everyone that wants to participate has a moment. And I'm just so excited. Thank you all for being here and for being present to this information and available to receive this information. Yay. Oh, wow. Adriana or Antonio said that was incredible. And I feel relaxed now. Oh, you're so welcome, Antonio. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And let's see. Okay. So I'll give you guys just a moment more to see if anyone else wants to participate. And all right, so let's see who we have. Oh, Sonia. I'm seeing that Sonia is our winner today of the Masterclass 1. Yay, congratulations, Sonia. We're so excited. And again, that investment is only $22, and you can find that link in bio. I'm so excited about it and how transformative mermaid consciousness is. So, you know, I received 7 years ago the title of my book, Mermaid Mystery School. And it took me like learning how to channel this consciousness and then creating a deck and then, you know, doing all these other things. And then now it's like finally like all of this consciousness is anchored in, and these classes are the book, the very key core elements, the keys of my book. So Mermaid Mystery School is a mystery school of mermaid consciousness that is brand new to the planet. I'm just so excited. Yay. Hi, Starry Beach. Oh, wait, Annie's. I'm sorry. I have this hat on and it's like challenging for me to see the comments. Yeah, okay. Annie is here from Torrance, California, and she's feeling relaxed. Yay. Congratulations to Sonia, Leah, and Adriana are sharing. So Sonia, just email me and I'll be happy to give you the details for that. And again, June 6th is this first masterclass. So sign up with link in bio, and I'm going to be sharing more about it in the days and weeks to come. And for the rest of the day, just be open to the signs and the synchronicities that are showing you how you're on track and how your manifestations are coming into being. Yay. I'm so grateful, everyone, for being here. And mermaid blessings. Have a beautiful day.